everybody, this week's devotion is on 1 Samuel 24. David spares Saul's life. So at this time, Saul is the king of Israel, King Saul, and he's getting jealous of David for becoming a strong leader and a warrior in Israel. So there eventually came a time where David was forced to go on the run because he was actually fearful for his life. He was no longer safe in Israel. So David and his men are out hiding in the back of a cave, and Saul gets wind of where he's at, of where David is at, so he's going to go after him and kill him. So Saul and 3,000 men pursued David and his men into the desert of En-Gedi and eventually into a cave where David is. So as Saul came along the sheep pens, he found a cave there, and like any other man on a road trip, he had to go to the bathroom. That has not changed in the last few thousand years. So as Saul's in there peeing, David sneaks up behind him, and Saul has no idea that David is there, and David could have killed him right there. He could have taken his life, and that would have ended the manhunt for David, right? But instead, all David did was cut off the corner of his robe, and Saul still didn't know he was there, so he must have had on a pretty long robe, or maybe multiple robes, who knows. But the fact that Saul didn't know he was there, and all David did was cut off his cloak, is pretty amazing, because Saul was trying to kill David, so you would think, if this was a movie, David probably would have just killed him, right? But David knew that this was wrong. David even knew that cutting off the cloak was wrong. If we look at verses 5 and 6, it says, afterward, David was conscience-stricken for having cut off a corner of his robe, his being Saul. He, David, said to his men, "The Lord forbid that I should do such a thing to my master, the Lord's anointed, or lay my hand on him, for he is the anointed of the Lord." So after this, David gave away his position in the cave to come out and apologize to Saul for what he had done, because he knew it was wrong, clearly there in verses 5 and 6. So after they have a discussion, David and Saul realizes that his pursuit of David to kill him is evil, and that David showed Saul grace, because he certainly could have killed Saul right there. And so Saul ends his pursuit of David there for a while. So what David did there was pretty amazing. He trusted God for justice and showed grace to Saul instead of doing probably what he wanted to do at the time, which was kill Saul, because Saul was trying to kill him. Right, an eye for an eye kind of thing. So there's a few questions that I would like you guys to discuss, amongst each other or with your family or whoever's around. Number 1, is there anyone who you struggle to show grace to? And why is that? It's not easy for us to show grace to everybody. It certainly wasn't easy probably for David to show grace to Saul, since Saul was trying to kill him. Number 2, how can we show grace when it's difficult and when others around us may not want us to? David's men told him, basically egged him on to kill Saul, because they knew that would be the end. Number 3, do we ever confuse God's will with things that feel right? Why is this easy to do? How can we avoid this? Killing Saul certainly would have felt right for David. There's no question about that, because it would have ended the manhunt for him. David would no longer have had to be fearful for his life. And then a challenge for this week is write down 2 or 3 or more, if this applies to you, people that you struggle with extending grace to. Pray about this. If possible, or if necessary, extend forgiveness to these people, and think about how you will react if these people require you to show grace in your next interaction. Will you extend grace in accordance with the Lord's will like David did? Or will you do your own thing and do what David could have done but chose not to? So that's this week's devotion on 1 Samuel 24, and I encourage you to read it.